Welcome back to Happily Home Cooking. Today we are making a super simple yet delicious and hearty Instant Pot ham and bean soup. We'll be using just 5 ingredients, including a leftover ham bone from the holidays and transforming it into a delicious dinner for the family. Some dried beans of your choice, along with some onion and freshly chopped garlic, are going to turn this soup into a delicious meal. So come on into the kitchen with me and I'll show you how we make our Instant Pot ham and bean soup. So let's start off with our beans. I like to use a combination of mayacoba beans and pinto beans most often. You can really use any kind of dried beans that you like though. These are just ones that I find to be very versatile, so I usually have them on hand. We're going to use 1 pound of beans total, about half a pound of each today. I like to use my kitchen scale to make this easy to help me measure it out. And then with dried beans, it's always a good idea just to give them a quick look over to see if there's any little shriveled up ones that need to be tossed out before cooking them. Next, we'll give our beans a quick little rinse, just a couple times with some water, swirl it around. And then to cook it, we will add some fresh filtered water. I'm going to fill this up to around the 11 cup measure line. You want to make sure that you leave enough room to get that big ham bone into your pressure cooker too. Now we'll return our pot to our pressure cooker and we're going to quickly chop up a couple aromatics. We will use 1 large yellow onion, just giving it a quick chop. Or in my case, maybe a not so quick chop, but that's what makes it happily home cooking. I like to take my time. We'll toss that into our pressure cooker along with our beans and water. And then we're also going to add some fresh garlic. You can really use as much or as little garlic as you like. I like to use several cloves. I think today I'm going to do about 5 or 6. Give them a smash. We'll peel those skins off. And then once they are peeled, I'm also going to cut off the little tough part at the end. I kind of call it the butt of the garlic usually. I don't know what that's actually called. If you know, leave me a comment to let me know. Alright, and we'll just give this garlic a mince. However big or small you like, nothing has to be exact in this recipe. This is all to taste and it's all going to get cooked until it's nice and soft. And into our Instant Pot, our garlic goes. Next, we're going to get our ham bone ready. Sometimes we will buy a ham shank that is already just the bone with a little bit of meat attached from our local meat shop. Today I have a whole ham obviously, so I'm just going to trim off all the chunks of meat to use in other things until we get down to basically the bone and whatever little bits of meat are close to the bone. I'm going to save all this other big chunks of ham for all kinds of other recipes. There are so many things that you can do with ham. If you have a favorite, let me know in the comments. I always love to have more ideas. We love throwing it into casseroles, obviously soups, pasta, so many things you can do with ham. I am obviously no butcher, so don't mind me while I hack away at this. When you're going to be chopping all the meat up anyways, it doesn't have to be pretty to get the job done. Alright, so once we get down to where you can see that bone, and obviously you've got some little bits of ham on there, and we're just going to push that right down, nice and snug, tuck it into that pressure cooker. Then pop the lid on, and we are going to cook this on high pressure for about 60 minutes. I find this to be the perfect amount of time for the mayacoba and pinto size beans. Of course, if you are using a different kind of bean, whether it be larger or smaller, you may want to adjust your cooking time slightly. While our pressure cooker is doing its thing, this is a great time I like to go make a salad or whatever else we're going to have with our soup for dinner. When our timer goes off on our pressure cooker, we'll do a quick manual release. Do this really carefully so you don't burn yourself. I like to use a long wooden spoon. Once that pressure has completely released, we can remove our lid, and the first thing I want to do is just to double check to make sure our beans are completely cooked to a nice tender texture. These are going to be perfect. If you find that your beans are still a little bit firm and you want them to have a slightly softer texture, you can just pop that lid back on and turn it back on for another 5 or 10 minutes on that high pressure to achieve the tenderness that you like. Our beans are perfect right now, so I am going to go ahead and fish out all of those things from our ham bone that we put in there. So you put it in as one chunk, but you will notice now that it is so tender, it is falling apart, and it will come out in multiple pieces. That's okay. We're just going to fish out all of those big chunks. They're not hard to find. And we're going to separate all this good meat away from the bone and cartilage and excess pieces of fat. I'm just going to kind of gently break up this ham into some bite-sized pieces and return the good ham chunks back into our soup pot. Now, aside from any last-minute seasoning, our soup is basically now done. So you can either just keep it warm, get it ready to serve later, or if you wanted to also, this is a great base recipe. If you wanted to add your vegetables into your soup to really make this a fully one-pot meal, you can absolutely do that. This is really great with fresh carrots or spinach or bell peppers or even spicier peppers like jalapenos or Anaheims. You can add whatever you like. If you do decide to add extra vegetables to your soup, you can just do it again right here still in your pressure cooker. Just put the lid back on and turn it on to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes to cook those veggies. We're going to keep this simple today and just make the original traditional ham and bean soup. All we're going to do is add a little bit of seasoning with salt and pepper to this soup. That bone in there with all of the cartilage, everything made for a really nice broth, so we don't need to add anything else. This is so simple and easy, but it really has so much delicious flavor just as it is. And that, my friends, is how we make our super easy Instant Pot ham and bean soup. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, please do come back and let me know. I always love to hear when people enjoy the recipes we make. And make sure you are subscribed to our Happily Home Cooking channel for more family favorite recipes like this one. Until then, I wish you an amazing day and happy home cooking.